Welcome to Coffee and RPGs. My name is Solomon SK, and thank you so much for clicking on today's video. As the title suggests, we got some amazing things coming over from Netflix and just gaming in general. But I will admit, I have some reservations, and we'll go over that as we go over this article together. But if you're new to the channel, we always like to go over these articles with a cup of coffee or your beverage of choice, of course. And so with that being said, let's just go ahead and get right to it. Cheers to you guys. And this news article here is brought to us by Gematsu.com, and I'll have a link to their article down in the description below if you want to go ahead and take a look for yourself. But it does go on to say here in their title that Netflix to acquire Next Games. Now, to those of you who are already huge fans of, say, Stranger Things and The Walking Dead, this is a name that probably already rings a bell, as they already made games for those particular IPs. As it does say here that this is the studio behind the mobile games Stranger Things Puzzle Tales, The Walking Dead Our World, and The Walking Dead No Man's Land. But Netflix has entered into an agreement to acquire Next Games in a 65 million euro agreement expected to close in the second quarter of 2022, the company's announced. And to kind of give you a little bit of a backstory, this studio was founded back in 2013, led by Timu, and I'm not going to even try to pronounce his last name. I know I'm going to butcher it, so I do apologize for that. But yeah, the game has approximately 120 employees, and in 2020, the developer reported sales of almost 30 million euros, with 95% of that, or its revenue, generated from in-game purchases. And of course, that's the case. In-game cash shops, got the gotcha mechanics probably and whatnot, that mobile games are known for, unfortunately or fortunately, and depending on which way you look at it. But here's my sort of kind of not necessarily concern, but maybe more so disappointment. This studio only makes mobile games, maybe for now, maybe forever, I don't know. But when I read this, I was hoping that Netflix would be making games for the PC and the consoles, because those are the type of games that I typically like. Granted, I actually do play a little bit here and there on my mobile phone, but it's not something that I invest a whole lot of time or a whole lot of money into in that case. But I understand why they went with this decision, because a bulk of the company's revenues and profits, regardless of if they are a PC company or a console company, do have some branch or some form of their company making mobile games, because one, they don't cost as much to make. And that's not to say that we actually haven't seen some form of another of Netflix's IP in PC and console games. They did a small crossover promotion with Black Desert Online. They were making a new show called Cursed, and it was like some sort of medieval fantasy show. And they actually had the protagonist of that show end up being in the world of Black Desert, and you were supposed to help her, so you're able to see what she looked like in game. And I thought that was really cool too. But that doesn't necessarily mean that Netflix is going to start automatically making games for PC now, although I think they would have the money and the capabilities as well. But then again, you have companies like Amazon with their endless pockets, and they unfortunately have a pretty bad track record, especially when it comes to the New World. So a lot of money doesn't necessarily mean a good game, but I'm just gonna play around with some ideas here. Now, as far as I know, Peaky Blinders is actually an IP owned by the BBC. Although it's a Netflix exclusive when it comes to the North American markets, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong. I actually don't have Netflix, and so, but I'm just imagining, what if Netflix had their own gaming studio that makes more than just mobile games, and actually started making games based on the intellectual property that they have or own, or have an exclusive rights to, or something like that? I mean, just imagine a Peaky Blinders video game that played very similar to, say, like the Mafia series, especially when it comes to the definitive edition. I mean, look at the way I dress. I mean, I love that kind of stuff. And some of the other IPs that Netflix are developing right now. Heck, I mean, if the Cursed TV show was even better, they probably could have made a video game out of that or something. I don't know, in the form of a fantasy RPG of sorts. And so I think they actually have a loyal following. Now, what percentage of that loyal following actually games on a hardcore, you know, computer setup, or even have the PlayStation 5 or the Xbox Series S or X and whatnot. I don't know. I mean, you'd probably have to ask the, you know, the people over there, because they have all the numbers. I mean, what the heck do I know at the end of the day? But I would really hope that Netflix actually does end up doing more crossover events, and so maybe that way they're able to kind of test the waters and see where the market is out, or where the market is, excuse me, to see whether or not this is something that they could do ultimately at the end of the day. And to kind of digress just a little bit, let's not forget the huge deal that's being made between Microsoft and Activision Blizzard. One of the biggest reasons why Microsoft wanted Activision Blizzard was because of their mobile division, the mobile side of their company. If I remember correctly, in the financial report from last year, they made like $2 million or $2 billion in profit or revenue, or whatever the number was. Either way, $2 billion, that's a sizable amount. So yeah, I don't know. Let me know down in the comment section below what you would like to see when it comes to a Netflix specific game. Again, Peaky Blinders, again, despite the fact that I know BBC owns it, would be an amazing game. And yeah, it would be pretty cool. But I'm pretty sure there's other Netflix exclusives out there that I don't know about that would make a pretty cool video game too at the end of the day. So yeah, definitely let me know down in the comment section below. Anyways, everyone, there is a little bit more to this. Ooh, almost knocked that over. There is more to this article, but it's just like your stereotypical PR statement saying, oh, how wonderful it's going to be by working with each other and being able to collab together and just making us a stronger company at the end of the day, and you know, all that jazz and whatnot. But at either event, maybe it's baby steps. Maybe Netflix just has to make baby steps before they get on to that whole AAA experience and be on par with Activision Blizzard or something like that. I don't know. Maybe I'm just being a little too optimistic. Anyways, everyone, that wraps it up for today's video. Again, let me know down in the comment section below what you would like to see when it comes to a Netflix game. With that being said, I hope you guys have a blessed night, and I will see you guys next time. Cheers again, everyone.